Hey guys, my name is Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking all about Arsenal versus Brentford at home, and yeah, it's an interesting game. Always going to be an interesting game, sandwiched in between two huge games against Real Madrid. Obviously at home last week and away this week in a couple of days. Heavily rotated. Everyone knew that he was going to rotate, and he did. And it kind of played like that. That Brentford were terrified of us. They looked like they were terrified of us up until the last 20 minutes or so of the game. But really, they just stepped off us for the pretty much almost all the game. And yeah, we just looked rusty a little bit. Obviously, Saka, Odegaard, Marino all were on the bench this game. But we still dominated the game like we always do at home. Like I said, Brentford played like they were terrified of us. They gave us so much respect, especially in that first half. But we just didn't capitalise on it. Again, scoring goals has been a real trial and tribulation this season, and this game was an example of that. And then, on the hour mark, Thomas Partey gets his really good goal, and it was a really good goal. And you're thinking, okay, this kind of looks like a 1-0 win. Saka coming off the bench. Odegaard as well. Martinelli, I thought, had a really good game. Just, again, struggling with his end product. But overall, then they go and get, a goal, should I say. Sloppy. We switched off for 2 seconds in this game and it cost us. And that's what happens in the Premier League. Should have been 1-0 victory. Let's just be real about that. But at the end of the day, the league is kind of done now. Everyone knows that. The Sky Sports would have you think otherwise. They would like to say they keep talking about the title race, blah blah blah. Liverpool, smash West Ham. They've won the league already. It's not mathematically possible yet, but it's pretty much done, and we've kind of tapped out of it. And to be honest with you, I think, touch wood, I really think that we're going to finish second. I don't think we're going to drop too much more points. And it's all on the Champions League right now. We've got a 3-0. 3-0 advantage against Real Madrid, but we've got to go to the Santiago Bernabeu and try and make sure that they score 3 goals. And our brain is on Champions League right now. Arteta will turn around and say, we're still in the title race, we still have a chance to win this game, and of course that's what you want your manager to say, because it's true. Technically, it's true. He's right. We do have a chance mathematically of winning, but I think Liverpool will have to lose all of their rest of their last games, and I think we would have to win every single one of them. And I think even then, I think it's still only my maths is shit, but even then, I think it's only 1 or 2 points in it. So the league is done, and that's fine for now. It's been a really difficult season domestically. Crashing out the cups again. That's something we need to really be looking at. But the league hasn't gone our way. We've been riddled with injuries. Our top players have been out. Saka was out for 100 days. Kai Havertz, who's having a phenomenal season. He was going to go on, I think, to break kind of his own kind of scoring records and stuff. He's out. He's been out for a few months now. So, it is what it is. It happens. City have got a massive rebuild job to do, which is funny because they spent 500 million in January or whatever. The City are way off it. To be fair, they beat Palace, but they were 2-0 down at Palace for a while, and you think, defensively they're dodgy as. So yeah, we just need to, Premier League wise, we just need to finish second, secure Champions League again for next year, and then with Andrea Berta now just go on the season in the off season and just buy 3 or 4. For me, 3 or 4 top players, and we'll talk more about that later on the time. But 1-1 draw against Brentford. Brentford have taken some serious scalps this season. They're no mugs. They're not a team that you kind of look at it at Brentford. You should be beating them. But if you look at their record and how they've been doing in the Premier League, it's a much tougher game than it necessarily looks. So 1-1, we didn't lose the game, fair enough, whatever, just get that out of the way so that we can focus on Real Madrid. The Real Madrid's the massive game. If we can get a result against Real Madrid, get to the Champions League semi-final, I don't give a crap about this Brentford game, in my opinion. It's all about that. So, it would have been nice to win. To be honest, it would have been nice to get 3 points and get a little bit more of a gap on the rest of the, third and fourth positions. But it is what it is. We'll just have to bounce back next weekend. But for me, all my focus right now is in the Champions League. My thinking right now is we don't concede a goal really early in the Champions League in the Real Madrid game. Because if we do that, then it's going to be nervy. I think if we can get to half time and we haven't let Madrid score, then I think that's a really good position to be in. So, but we have to wait and see. It's a huge game, and we just got to go with it. And then obviously we've got Ipswich away, sorry, on the Sunday. So you're thinking, if we can get a result, and it's a big if, 3-0 still feels like it's not enough against Madrid, but if we can get past Madrid, get to the semi-finals, then you're looking at Ipswich probably going to be heavily rotated again, but away, on paper you think they've practically already relegated. They're by far the worst team in the league, but they managed to get a result against Chelsea. They got a draw against Chelsea, which is big for them. So they're no mugs. It's not going to be an easy game again. They're going to be the home side, so they can afford to sit back, and they're going to be ultra defensive. We may struggle to score against them again, so it may be another Brentford in my opinion. But whatever, just concentrate on the Champions League right now. And then we also got Palace, who are a decent team, very very decent team. After that, so busy couple of months now. It's all in right now, and that's not even including the semi-finals and potential final. I mean, God winning. So yeah, busy now. We've just got to do really well now. We've got 6 games left of the season in the Premier League. Try and win as many of them as possible. Secure a second spot. Second spot isn't a trophy, whatever, cool, but we want to be in the Champions League next season. And we want to be, finishing second, I think puts us in a good position to then go, okay, you know what? Yes, Salah and Van Dijk are probably going to stay in Liverpool, but their squad is iffy, to say the least. They're not unbeatable in this season. Or this season, I don't think they're going to be unbeatable next season either. I think some players will be leaving Liverpool. I think, it's a question mark how well they're going to be next season. You have to imagine that City are going to rebuild by a whole bunch of more players and go again in the next season. So we have to be in there. And like I said, biggest transfer window of a long time coming up in this summer. A striker at least, another winger. Some people say left winger because Mane is good enough. I think Mane is good enough. We need a winger that can play both wings and go from there. Probably another centre back as well, another top centre back. And maybe some midfielders. Jorginho looks like he's going out, and maybe Partey might be leaving as well. So big summer coming up. But anyway, right now Brentford, whatever it is, what it is. We didn't lose, fine. Go concentrate on the Champions League. Hopefully, touch wood, get through that, and then do the same again against Ipswich, and just see what we can do against them. So yeah, it is what it is. It's just you have to say, look, that Liverpool are so many points ahead of us now. Why would we be exhausting our players playing Brentford and Ipswich when we've got Real Madrid in the quarterfinal of the World Cup of the Champions League? So yeah, priorities right now. You have to set some things down to concentrate on other things, and that's what we're doing, and that's fine with me. Let me know if that's not fine with you. Let me know what you thought about the game. The Real Madrid game coming up, the Ipswich game out at the weekend. What finishing position can be like, and what do you think we can do something in the Champions League this year? If we can get past Real Madrid, we can get past anybody. So get to the semi-final. Like I always say in Mexico, Liga. Once you get to the Liga and in the playoffs, anything can happen. That's the beauty of knockout football. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We do appreciate it. Let me know anything about what I've talked about, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't done already. I really do appreciate every one of you. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.